Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
We have a nutjob wannabe king who's doing everything he can to censor opinions he doesn't want to hear.
Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy.
He's lining the pockets of billionaires, all while neglecting the sick, the poor, the hungry, in the name of Jesus, by the way, who you could read all about in a Donald Trump edition of the God Bless the USA Bible that is made in China and available for $99.99. That is the State of the Union, okay?
For 20 minutes, Jimmy Kimmel did what Jimmy Kimmel does. He made jokes about the hair. He made jokes about the speech going too long. He made jokes about J.D. Vance standing and sitting. Standard late night material. The audience laughed on cue. The rhythm was familiar. Everything was normal. And then he stopped. Not gradually, not with a transition. He stopped mid-segment, looked directly into the camera, and said something that didn't have a punchline, that didn't have a setup, that didn't have a laugh track waiting underneath it. He just spoke like a man who had been carrying something heavy for a very long time and finally decided to set it down in front of everyone.
Golden Boys from Team USA Hockey were in the house. They stopped by the White House this afternoon to give Insane Gretzky yet another medal he did not win. I'm sure he kept that one too. The U.S. women's hockey team declined Trump's disingenuous invitation to the State of the Union tonight, and because they did, they got an even better offer from none other than Flavor Flav.
Which country are you watching this from right now? Drop it in the comments, because the 60 seconds that followed traveled further than the two-hour speech it was responding to. The State of the Union had lasted nearly 2 hours. Trump spoke about immigration. He spoke about the economy. He spoke about the military, about energy, about trade. The speech was long, loud, and according to many analysts from both sides, largely disconnected from the reality most Americans are living through. Kimmel covered the highlights the way late night hosts always cover these speeches, with timing, with absurdity, with the kind of humor that makes difficult things easier to digest. He mocked the introduction. He mocked the length. He pointed out that Mike Johnson's bedtime was in jeopardy. The audience was relaxed. The format was safe. Nobody expected what happened next. This is grounded in a real broadcast segment that aired following the 2026 State of the Union, told as narrative because the moment that mattered wasn't the comedy. It was the 60 seconds where the comedy disappeared. Kimmel paused. He looked at the camera, not at the audience, at the camera, and said 4 words that changed the temperature of the entire room. "Here is the real State of the Union," he said.
Here's the real State of the Union, okay? We have a nutjob wannabe king who's doing everything he can to censor opinions he doesn't want to hear. He has his goons arresting, incarcerating, and killing American citizens. He's got funding for cancer research at children's hospitals, while he rakes in literally billions of dollars for himself and his family. He's coming after our right to vote. He's protecting pedophiles and won't explain it.
We have a leader who is doing everything he can to censor opinions he doesn't want to hear. He said, goons are arresting and incarcerating American citizens. He said, funding for cancer research has been cut. Funding for children's hospitals cut, while the president and his family rake in billions. He said, he is coming after our right to vote. He is protecting pedophiles, and he won't explain it. No punchline, no callback, no wink at the audience. Just a man standing on a stage built for comedy, delivering a list of things that aren't funny. And the audience didn't laugh, they didn't applaud. They sat in the kind of silence that only happens when someone says something so plainly true that the room doesn't know how to perform a reaction to it. If you are watching this and you want to see more moments where the mask comes off and the truth arrives without packaging, subscribe and hit that like button, because these are the moments that disappear the fastest, and this channel exists to make sure they don't. Many observers noted afterward that this was not the first time a comedian has gotten serious on late-night television. Kimmel himself has done it before, most memorably when he spoke about his son's heart surgery and the importance of healthcare access. Colbert has done it. Stewart did it after 9/11s. But what made this moment different was the context surrounding it. This wasn't a personal story. This wasn't about Kimmel's family. This was a comedian looking at the most powerful speech platform in American government and saying plainly that the speech was a performance and the reality underneath it was something the country could not afford to laugh away. The contrast was the weapon. 20 minutes of jokes and 60 seconds of silence wrapped truth. The jokes made the audience comfortable. The truth made them still. And the stillness was the part that traveled. Trump's speech had been designed to project strength. 2 hours of declarations, applause lines, and standing ovations from one side of the chamber. It was built for clips, built for highlights, built for the morning shows to replay the loudest moments and call them presidential. But by morning, the clip that was being shared the most wasn't from the speech. It was from a comedian's response. A 60-second stretch where a man who gets paid to make people laugh chose, instead, to make them think. Many political analysts described it using a phrase that has become familiar in this niche. They called it the composure gap, the distance between a leader performing confidence and a citizen stating reality. That distance, they said, has been growing for years, and on this night, Kimmel measured it, out loud, on camera, in a room full of people who came expecting to laugh. Trump posted about Kimmel the next morning. He called the show failing. He called the ratings terrible. He said Kimmel had no talent. The usual pattern, the usual words, the same response he gives to every critic, regardless of what the critic actually said. But the clip kept traveling, not because it was vicious, not because it was partisan, because it was plain, because it listed things, real, documented, verifiable things that are happening right now to real people. And it asked, not with outrage, not with performance, but with exhaustion. When did this become acceptable? That question didn't have a punchline, and the audience, for once, didn't need one. The funniest man in late night stopped being funny for 60 seconds, and those 60 seconds said more about the State of the Union than the 2-hour speech that preceded them. Subscribe to the Narrative Brief and turn on notifications. Sometimes the truth arrives. When the jokes stop, we make sure you hear it.